Thank you very much, and hello to everyone. So my name is Patrick Maroy, so I know it's going to be very hard to pronounce for a lot of you because I'm French. What can I do? So we're going to be speaking about app engagement. So I know that we're at the App Promotion Summit, but it's something that is also very interesting if you're into the app business. So let's get started. So just a few seconds, who are we? Who is ADASCREEN? ADASCREEN is a leading mobile marketing and technology group. We're based in Paris and with offices in London. Basically, our goal is to make you make more money on the mobile business. So we're really nice guys. And we don't care whether it's through acquisition, whether it's helping you acquire new users that are top quality, or if it's by engaging your existing users in order, because that's where the business is. So that's our main originality, is that we span from the user acquisition to the user engagement in terms of mobile marketing. And we're very technology driven because we develop our own technologies that help you acquire, optimize. That's Ad for Perf, which is our mobile acquisition platform, and also retain, convert, and engage your users. And that's Ad for Push. That's our mobile CRM technology. But the cool thing is that it's only one SDK to manage both acquisition and MCRM. So let's get started. And let's talk about retaining and building loyalty with your users. So I have a warning for everyone. Everything that you've learned today might be useless. So it's not about you, and it's my way of catching your attention because it's nearly 4:30, so you might be a bit sleeping. So beware. Why would everything be useless? Because if you don't have a proper mobile engagement strategy, then all your user acquisition efforts are going to be like pouring oil into a colander. So I'm pretty sure that you know what this is, but I didn't know the English word, so that's why I wrote colander, so that I could say it out loud. So indeed, people are not loyal to apps. Overall, only 3 out of 10 users will open your apps more than 10 times. That's nothing. All the effort that you're putting into user acquisition can be ruined if you don't build a strategy for retention and engagement of your users. We've also found out that 70% of top 300 apps do not activate or do not use push notifications. And maybe actually that's one of the reasons why we have such low engagement rates. So last part is I want you to have your cake and eat it at the same time because we're gonna be speaking retention, but retention also has beneficial impact for your user acquisition strategy. Why? Because when you have a higher frequency of usage, you have a lot more viral effect, whether you stimulate it or it's natural, and you also have access to cross-selling. If your users are loyal to your apps, if you build new apps, you're going to be able to advertise those new apps to your users. And I love this cheesy picture. Also, something that is very specific to a mobile marketing is that loyalty criteria do have an impact on your Google Play rankings and perhaps also on the App Store. As you may know, Google Play rankings are very influenced by net installs, so like regular installs and uninstalls, and also by the frequency of usage over 30 days of your app. So if you're not trying to engage your users after you've acquired them, then it's suicidal because you're just throwing money out of the window. And we also know that there was a tweak in the App Store ranking algorithm in April 2011. So we might think that loyalty also have an impact on the Apple algorithm. So just a question, who has been using push notifications here? Okay, so not that much actually. So I'm sure you pretty know what this is. Push notification is a message that is sent to an app user through the mobile internet and through Apple or Google servers with no SMS cost. So it's really the cost of an email, but with the impact of an SMS. And it appears on the device home screen and notification center, even if the app isn't running. So that's the beauty of it. And when you click on it, it triggers the opening of your app, and it can also pass some data to it. And also the cool thing about it is that it's subject to user permission. And I come from the email marketing industry, so I've seen this whole industry collapse because of a lot of abuse that was made. And this cannot be done because the permission is handled by the OS. So it's really a tool that is crucial for app loyalty. And it's ideal to reactivate your users. And you will experience very strong response rates. So you know about push notification, but I don't know if you know about the push notification effect. You may have sensed it, but maybe not quantified it. And actually, we've had with Price Minister, which is one of the subsidiary of Rakuten. Rakuten was the Japanese e-commerce leader. And we've looked at people that had been receiving push notifications against people that haven't been receiving push notifications. So we had a control sample. And what we found out is that Android push recipients are 1.7 times more active towards the apps than the people that were not receiving push notifications. And in terms of iOS, it's 2.2 times more active. So this has a huge impact on your usage, on your frequency, and hence on your revenues. And we could actually measure also the revenues because we were able to track the purchases of users that had been exposed to push notifications. And the thing that was very interesting was that we were able to see that even the fact that you were exposed to a push notification, even if you hadn't clicked on it, it already had a 33% increase over your purchase rate. And of course, if you had clicked on the push notification, then you were actually 4 times more able to purchase. So that's a really crucial tool for your app engagement strategy. So what does a proper retention strategy mean? Well, what it means is that you should aim towards a higher frequency of usage, higher active rates, and so on. But it all translates into this one sentence that you've heard maybe 100 times, but I'm sorry you're going to hear it another time. It's, well, the right dialogue with the right user at the right time, in the right context, and by the right channel. So this sentence has been here for a long time, but it's still very true. And if we dig into all these different words, we're going to see that how it translates into mobile marketing. So the right dialogue, first, it can be the right format. I'm sure you use a bit of push notifications, but have you been beyond classic push notifications? We can use emoticons in your push notifications so that your message will be more noticeable. So this one is a bit flashy, I must say, but it gets noticed, that's for sure, compared to other push notifications. Also, we see a lot of push notifications that just bring you at the home page of the app. Well, when in fact you can really direct the user to the right place and the right content, and that's very easy, just using deep links or parameters. So if you've clicked on the notification, you arrive on the right place. But also you can go further. Push notifications are standardly text, but we can go further. We can use rich push notifications, which is a way for you to enrich your communication to people that have reacted to your push. So, for instance, here on Android, what we were able to build is an overlay, like a pop-up overlay. If the user is browsing on his device and he receives a push notification, he will have a pop-up which states a message on top of whatever he's doing. So it's a bit like iOS 4 at the time. And once the person clicks, he arrives inside the app, but at this time there's an overlay which is HTML, HTML5, video, or GIFs, or whatever, in order to enrich the dialogue that you have with the user. And this will only be seen by the people that have clicked on your push notification. And also, there's something very important to know, is that Apple lets you talk with your users inside the app. You're allowed to talk to your users, and this is called in-app messages. So a lot of people actually do not use them, and I think it's very sad, because it's a very good tool to accompany your users inside their browsing and to make them discover new features, for instance, of your apps. So they take various designs. They can be like banners. They can be like interstitials. They can be like pop-ups or alerts. The only thing that is different to the regular advertising format is that this is not for advertising. This is for relational purposes. You can actually speak about yourself, and you will get strong response rates. And the difference with push notification is that these messages can only be seen inside the app, so when the app is running. And also, what is very interesting is that you have the same targeting capacities as for rich push for push notification. So it's really, you can talk to individual users, you can talk to very specific segments of your population. The right dialogue, it's also the right message. How can we know which is the good message, the right message? Well, how do we do it on the web? We test it. We do that the whole time. We do A/B testing. Well, it's possible also to do that in push notifications. So basically, we're going to create two different samples and give a shout and try the two messages and see which one is the winner. There's actually a fun case study with an app called BetClick at the time of the Paris against Barcelona game. So just to give you the context, there were no tickets since the first day, and people were only talking about it. And so an app sent a message saying, oh, there's some tickets for PSG against Barca to win. Actually, no, they're long sold out. And this was during April Fool. And of course, because BetClick was a bit afraid of the reactions, we tested another message to see which one would get the best results. And in fact, it's very interesting because we got a 25% increase with the first message. And we've optimized that in just 5 minutes, because push notifications are very, very reactive. So this is a way of enhancing your messages very, very easily. Also, the right dialogue with the right user, this is relevancy. And customization for that is really key. For instance, for Nestle Baby, which is an app, we've created a mobile push notification program, which is completely automated, but it's completely based on the baby, on the age of the baby, on the first name of the baby. And this creates very, very targeted and relevant messages. And overall, what you get, I'm sorry if it's in French, is that you get 4 times higher response rates than regular push notifications. And this can actually this can overpass 30% in terms of responses. So that's huge. Then you want the right user. And to get the right user, you have to analyze and target. And if you want to target, which is mandatory, let's not forget that people that get messages that they don't like, they can erase your app very easily. So we have to be very cautious about the type of message that we send them. And this means that we have to have some data in order to target them. So it's important to gather all the necessary data about the user profile, about the preferences, the type of messages that they like, about your external CRM data. You have to link it so that you can have more data to target, about app behavioral data, campaign data, and so on. And then you have to analyze it. So you have many tools in order to do that. And once you've analyzed, well, you have to combine the data and create the targets. And actually, it's interesting to use it because we have a lot of clients who say, oh, we're going to gather this data, we're going to collect it, okay. And once they want to send the message, they say, I'll just send it to everyone. Here's an example of a user preference-based message. That's something which is very easy. You let the user choose which type of message the user wants, and then you get very high response rates. So we do that for Vente Privée, which is a leading e-commerce app and site in France. The user chooses the sales that they want to receive notifications on. They receive the appropriate sale alert, and then they click and they arrive inside the app. And this has response rates over 10%, which is twice better than regular sale pushes. And of course, you can do that also in the media by letting people choose the type of information they want to get by push notification. But you can also do that inside the apps. For instance, Run Sanity is a game with in-app purchases, and well, they send some messages when they have like sales on items, but you're not gonna display that to everyone. People are sometimes reluctant to in-app purchases, so what you want to do is target some purchases, but maybe low or mid-range purchases, so that the discount can trigger an actual purchase. So this is an example of alert, which then directs the person to the shop. Easy Flirt, I'll go very quickly. It's targeting people that do not have accounts and encouraging them to create one. Now that's a very important thing. It's the right time. More than anywhere else, time is money for mobile because push notifications are extremely time sensitive. And what we see is that 75% of reactions occur over the 5 minutes that follow the sending, and it's 90% following the 15 minutes. So you better test the right time to push your messages, because if you don't, you're going to lose a lot of reactions. And we've run some tests with an e-commerce client. We've sent the same message on various dates and times. And we were able to share the data. And what you can see is that if you compare the low range to the high range, you have a time-to ratio. So you can really, by not choosing the right time, lose a lot of reactions and a lot of user engagement. Also, it's important to know when is the good time for your client. You can see the client value over time. So first it's the welcome part. You can automate that and send them specific messages. Then you have the sweet spot where you're starting to win a bit of money, and you can send them push notifications regarding what they're interested by. And then you have the not so nice part, is when you're trying to get them to come back to your app. And this can also be automated based on the last date of opening, for instance. Last is the right context. We know that this works a lot on the web. The same thing can happen in the apps. You can do some abandoned basket use case. So for La Redoute, which is one of the biggest mail order firm in France, when mobile users were putting products to their basket, but not actually doing the purchase, they would receive an automated message in order to encourage to come back to the app. And that actually has extremely interesting high response rate, and also a lot of value which is brought by that. Of course, there's also the right context based on the user location. So this is a very obvious type of message that you can do. And the last thing I wanted to share is the right channel. It's very important to try and multiply your touch points. There's a company called AppGratis that you all know, I guess, and they were cut out from their push notification one day. So it's very important to always keep this in mind and always try and collect other data points, other touch points. And one interesting touch point is, of course, Facebook, because with Facebook, if you get a like, you can then send posts. And if you get a Facebook Connect, you can also send Facebook notifications. And that's also a channel that you can use in order to send interesting messages. Last thing is it's very interesting to link your data with your external CRM system so that you can gather some interesting data and run some multi-channel campaigns. The last thing I wanted to see with you is, because I know that you're very interested in app promotion, well, I just want to say again, stress this point, that when you engage with existing users, it can bring you more users. Why? Because you can make them become ambassadors, and you can do that in very different ways. So I'm pretty sure you know AP Rater, you know, this software that you can put inside your app, and after a few visits, you can say, oh, rate my app. But sometimes the app, you don't want your users to rate them. So with this type of alerts, you can choose when to trigger the message. You can change the message remotely. You don't have to resubmit your app. And this has a very interesting impact on stars and ratings. With Nestle, before we had a 3.7 average rate, and now we have a 4.4, just by targeting the right users and changing the messages. So remember the virtuous circle: collect data and permission, analyze, test targeting, test formats, test messages, create automated scenarios. That's the nice spot, because you think, you create, and then it's just the machine doing the work. And more testing, more analysis, and well, don't worry, be happy and make money. The last study I wanted to share is a very scientific study, and really absolutely non-subjective, so internal study, which has shown that people using App for Push have a happier life and a more successful career. And you can ask these guys. I'm sorry, I had to do that, otherwise I could not see my family and I could not reach my home again. Thank you very much.